The MX-5 is old. It's been out since 2015, this ND here behind me, and while yes, Mazda is still creating significant changes model year after model year, which we'll get into in a second, it's not clear what the next MX-5 will look like. All I do know is the ND MX-5 is old and we're ready for the next one. I'm a little bit worried about the next generation MX-5. And judging by the overall, I don't know, echoes of the culture and the community and MX-5 fanatics online, you guys who have spoken up, it seems you're in the same boat as well. I always feel like a little bit of a lunatic driving an MX-5 with a Toucan. It's about 5 degrees Celsius outside, very, very cold. We need it now. We need to just bite the bullet right now. There's a few things that make me incredibly excited about it, but there are a few things that are still kind of in the shadows that we have yet to know about. So first is we have to look at what Mazda has openly stated about their future of hybridization, electrification, and where those goals are effectively. So they want their entire lineup to be electrified by 2030. That just means more hybrids. So I actually made a video about 1.5 years ago kind of speculating on whether the next MX-5 would have a rotary or not. And that was based on the fact that Mazda had made the MX-30, their small EV hatchback, with a rotary powered engine. But in that car, it's just delegated as its only role is to be a generator and provide charging for the electric motor. So the actual feel that I'm feeling here, the vibrations of the internal combustion engine in the seat here, in the shifter, through the steering, is not coming through that kind of setup. Now recently, Mazda actually unveiled, or iterated on, I guess, the original Mazda Vision concept, which looked to all of us like, hey, this might be the next RX car. RX-7, RX, we kind of like to forget about the RX-8, but the next RX-7, right? And they actually iterated on it and came out with the iconic SP, as many of you guys have probably seen. Beautiful car, reminds me a lot of the RX-7, the FD. They're not shying away from that. That was their intention. Styling-wise, I think it's amazing. It's much closer to what an actual production RX car could look like. But then we come to the powertrain of that car, and while it's stated that it will make about 375 horsepower, it's much larger than the MX-5. So it is very clearly not an MX-5 replacement, but under the hood will be an EV setup, electric motors or motor with a rotary engine. But the rotary is just the same thing as it is in the MX-30, a generator. And that is not what we want from the next MX-5. So if Mazda is going to take what the MX-5 has been all along, which to me is a lightweight, affordable, rear-wheel drive, manual roadster, to the market and continue building it, they need to deliver on the feel. And that is kind of the sum of all of those components of the car that I just mentioned. When they all come together, we get what I'm driving today, which is, the one I'm currently sitting in is a 2023 RF GT. One step down from the top most expensive MX-5 you can buy today. And it's kept so much of the original flavor. It is actually kind of remarkable. Of course, you guys already know, under the hood, the Skyactiv G2 liter, naturally aspirated inline 4, great sounds here, awesome throttle response, 181 horsepower, 151 pound-feet of torque, 7,500 RPM redline, and a manual. That rotary generator scares me. I speculated that, hey, the next MX-5 could have a rotary engine. This is not what we want. And a lot of you guys were very quick to point out on the SP Iconic launch that, hey, you guys got it backwards. We're okay. I would be okay. I don't know about you guys. With a hybrid MX-5, just use the electric motor for torque fill, but keep the primary form of propulsion forward a gasoline-powered engine. Of course, the ultimate key to that is a manual transmission. Now that brings me to what Mazda has said explicitly about the next generation MX-5. So what is making me optimistic about the next generation M3? Well, it's the simple fact that Mazda has stated that they are going to continue to work on their gasoline-powered engines, both the Skyactiv G that's under the hood here, the 2-liter, but also the new inline 6 that's in the CX-90 that I've also reviewed. Great engine, just made for the larger rear-wheel drive platforms there. And that says to me, I mean, they developed a brand new engine, brand new gearbox for that vehicle. So that says to me, hey, we've still got a few years of great combustion engines out of Mazda. It's just how they will integrate that into the MX-5. Mazda has stated explicitly about the next generation MX-5, they are working hard to deliver a lightweight, affordable, two-door roadster to please their customers. No mention of a manual transmission. Let's face it, the MX-5 is an incredibly old car. The ND came out in 2015. It's almost 10 years old. And you guys might be thinking, hey Marcus, the GTR has it beat by a long shot. And that's true, the GTR came out in 2007, but that's a very different scenario because the GTR's whole shtick is, hey, we're gonna beat everything around a track for less money. And that was very true in 2007. It's not aged brilliantly. That's not what the GTR does so well here in 2024. The prices have risen, the power hasn't risen too much, and the competition, more importantly, has just outshone it, I mean, 10 to 1 as far as refinement and updates to the car. The MX-5 doesn't really have any competition. There's no other car like this. The closest would be something like the GR Corolla or the Integra Type S, with which both of those weigh quite a bit more. In essence, the MX-5 has nothing to compete with other than itself. And I really hope that Mazda doesn't disappoint us with the next generation MX-5. I don't think they will. What are we going to judge the MX-5 on? First off, I am going to judge it very harshly on how many cup holders it has. A good roadster meant for drivers has real compromise, and there's nothing like a lack of cup holders to signify your driving spirit. And here, yes, we have cup holders. They're kind of cheap plastic ones that are removable, not the most sturdy things in the world. Price is another thing. We will judge the MX-5 on price because it is getting expensive. This RF GT I'm driving today is priced $46,000 Canadian. So what do we get with the GT RF? First off, we get the option to go RF or soft top. If you're in an incredibly cold climate, I would have a tendency to go RF if you don't care so much about the nuance of the additional weight. The soft top is a better roadster experience, though. There's no doubt about it. It's more true to the authentic, original kind of feel of the MX-5. You also get leather seats. We do get the Bilstein dampers, which you also get on the GSP. We get stuff like the upgraded 9-speaker Bose audio system, which is great. Of course, these leather seats are heated as well. And a few other things just to make the MX-5 a little bit more luxurious. If you're more just exclusively performance oriented, I would go personally GSP. You are also able to spec the GT with the Grand Touring Pack, which adds those Brembo brakes and a couple of other little performance tweaks. The MX-5 proves that you can keep a formula around if you have no other competition, and just kind of slowly iterate on it. It is a tell though, here in the 2023 model, the only update for this model year is the Zircon Sand Metallic. Mazda, what are you doing? Who is going to buy a Mazda in, who is gonna buy an MX-5 in this Zircon Sand Metallic? It looked great on the CX-50 I drove. It's got an off-road flavor to it. But the community at large, and I've seen a few comments on this, we're asking, where are the exciting colors? But the 2024 model does add a few key things. The most important, to me at least, is the updated LSD. So effectively, the new LSD is said to reduce liftoff oversteer. So it changes the ability of the differential to lock up at different rates during decel versus acceleration. And then on the interior, to fix the aging Mazda interior here, I believe this is the last model they build with the old style steering wheel here, and they are about to update the screen here from the old 7-inch that we have right here to an 8.8 inch, so it's a little bit more updated. They've also gone ahead and updated the headlights. It'll have LED headlights. They've moved the running lights from the bottom of the bumper into the headlights. They've integrated that, and they've also added a new traction control setting built for the track, made for the track. So it's kind of like an in-between on and fully off. So it'll basically, hopefully, prevent you from fully spinning. It's always fun to keep a half spin, AKA a drift or a power slide. But that is coming. So, you know, they're adding more tech and whatnot. Of course, it is assumed that this will also add to the price, and that has been the ND MX-5's Achilles heel since it's launched. It is expensive. $46,000 Canadian here is effectively $1,000 less than a GR Corolla Core. And I hate to say it, but for that money, for the same money effectively, I would go for the GR Corolla Core. Way more power, all-wheel drive, way more seats, more practicality, and just as fun, I think, to huck around a back road. I would say so. And it's all-wheel drive, so in the winter, a little bit better. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below what you think the next MX-5 should be and whether or not you're excited for it yet with the very limited info we have on it. So we'll see you soon.